Okay. Welcome everybody to the town board meeting of April 7th, 2020. I'm gonna have ask you all to bear with us as this is our first time. Turn that off. I don't think she can have it on when you're here. As we navigate through this remote conferencing, moving forward, we are working on finding a way that interaction with the members of the public. But for tonight, we're not going to have any questions from the public, just whatever was submitted prior to the meeting. So I'm going to ask the town clerk to take the roll call.
Councilman Dennis Troy.
Present.
Gary Vitar.
Present.
Gary?
Present.
Doesn't matter.
Councilman Jerry Vitar.
Here.
Councilman Paul Valentine.
Here.
Councilman Tom Devaney.
Here. I'm here.
Here.
Can you hear me?
Yep. We hear you. Okay, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
All right.
I pledge allegiance.
Allegiance. The flag.
Yeah,
United States of America.
America. And to the republic for which it stands,
Stands
one
nation.
Indivisible.
under
Indivisible.
Liberty and
Liberty. Justice for all.
Oh.
So we're going to start with a couple of announcements. First, I'm going to say the police commission meeting that was scheduled for tonight is canceled, and the next one is scheduled for May 5th. So I'm just going to give, we're calling it the COVID-19 update. I'm going to just say a couple words, and then the chief may have some words to add. So I'm going to start with a quick announcement, one that we have been getting a lot of questions about regularly. A decision has been made to close the golf courses in Orangetown. So there'll be further discussion, but I wanted to get that out there because it's been, kind of the subject of some emails and calls. So anyway, so just basically giving a quick update. Today, the number of positive cases in the county are over 6,000 cases, and we've had over 1,000 deaths. So at this point, we probably all know someone who's tested positive, and unfortunately, some of us have known people who have passed from the virus.
How many deaths?
100.
Oh, I think so.
Again, the numbers are a little. Yeah, the county actually has a high number. New York State has 99. It's a moving with what day they were reported. I went with the state, which was 99 as of yesterday. I'm sure it's higher, but that was a number from the state website. So tonight you're going to see we're going to be adjourning in memory of way too many lives that were taken too soon. And so I'm just going to add a personal touch. If that's not enough, when you see the list of names we have that we're adjourning for, I want to just share something personal. And basically, it's the heartbreak or heartache of my sister, who's a nurse. She's been a nurse for 30 years. She is now, she was thrown into the front line. She's working the ICU in the hospital. And so she, was just telling me these stories of heartbreak, of seeing a mother of 3 that went to school. Her children went to school with my sister's children on a ventilator, of holding a hand of a stranger because they're alone, and just these sick people who can't have their family members there. So I tell you this not to be grim, but just so that we all really get it, that we need to stay home. We need to stay home as much as possible, so that we're not that person in the ICU. But in addition, we don't want to be spreading it. And the more evidence is coming out that people are asymptomatic, they don't know they have it. So staying home, and I'm just asking everyone to do our part to stop the spread. So with that, I just want to thank all of the first responders, from the police to the EMTs to the nurses and the doctors. These are the brave men and women that are going in when like the rest of us are running away. So I can't thank them enough. And I'll be a little biased, and to my sister Joanne, who's doing 12-hour shifts in Nyack Hospital in the ICU. So, and I'll tell you, she played a nice video. They're doing music outside Nyack Hospital. They're playing music, and so she played a video. She said it was nice to come out after a 12-hour day and have the music playing. I just want to, you have to find the little silver lining. The people in Orangetown are great. We have reached out on Facebook and on our town website for volunteers, and they have come pouring in. Everyone from the Rockland GAA who did a food drive. Is my microphone on? Yes. Yeah. From the Rockland GAA who has already bagged up and delivered 150 bags of food to our seniors. To Giovanni's Pizza that brought pies to both Dowling Gardens and Thorpe Village. To the individuals who all reached out to us and have given us their names, and we've passed them on to the Office for Aging and People to People and Meals on Wheels. And people are every day they're stepping up in Orangetown to do their part or to offer to do their part. So I want to thank them. I also want to thank the town staff. We're working on minimum staffing. So, a lot of them are here, a lot of them are home, they're working from home. We have people working from home that don't have work to do calling our seniors, and they're loving it. We're getting emails and calls, very appreciative that we're checking in on them. So anyway, I want to thank them as they, as they continue through this. It's like a lot of their neighbors are staying home and they, they're coming to work. So I thank them. And then I want to thank Allison Carden and Carmel Riley, who both have been here with me day in and day out through some stressful days. They've been the end of some snips when I lose my patience, but they know I appreciate everything they do, and they're dealing with all these calls, questions about essential businesses, closings, every day. So thank you. So that's all I really have. I don't know if we want to ask the chief of police to say a few words. Or... You can come up a little. Yeah.
Hi, Teresa.
Hey, Esther.
I have a question to ask all of you.
Real quick,
I'd like to know why you and your town board members are not wearing the masks and gloves.
Okay,
Dennis should know better. It's a venture policy because of this deadly coronavirus.
Look, Esther, I have it here, and Dennis has it there too. We're gonna.
But they're supposed to wear them.
Okay, thank you.
Teresa.
Okay, hold on a second. Okay. Sorry, chief.
Okay, just wanted, I think everybody's aware, the governor has come up with 14 amendments to his executive order or whatever they're called, additions to it within the last month. So every day we're dealing with the town attorney's office, the DA's office, all the police chiefs, the sheriff, to try and figure out what a lot of this stuff means and what our authority is. I know you're involved with a lot of it as well. So we're trying to get to where we need to be. We're pretty close. One thing is, the community has been great as far as following the rules. They have been extremely receptive whenever they didn't know what the rule was. We've gotten to the point where we were able to explain it to them and they move on. So we're really not having some of the problems that some of the areas in this region are having as far as that goes. Just want to point out and reiterate what you were saying before. The staff of the police department, our radio operators, all the people that work in the police department, and the town employees as well have been unbelievable to us, getting us whatever equipment we need, like we need something. Yourselves, the town board, it's really, it's uncharted territory what we're in right now, but everybody's pitching in, and that's, something that I think we all should be proud of. As far as our work, our calls for service from last year to this year is the same time frame, is up a little bit, but dramatically with medical calls. Like injury calls now are down quite a bit, but medical calls are up 10% just in this 4 weeks. Our domestic calls are up quite a bit since then, which makes sense because more people are home during the day for things to happen up in, traffic there. One positive that we're getting at is our vehicle accidents are down a lot. They're down over 20%, which is, cars aren't on the road, but that's one good thing. We're not sending resources to those because they do take a lot of times 2 cars, an ambulance, sometimes a fire department. So the accidents being down has been helpful. our security checks, which we do at the school, transfer that to the hospitals as well. We hit Nyack Hospital probably 15 or so times a day that we go. We don't go in, but we go through the lots. We let ourselves be seen. I think that the staff up there and the patients that are going in and out are noticing us there. I have gotten calls from the mayor, who's very happy with, what's going on up there, which is helpful to us because if we're not getting good feedback, then we have to adjust. The equipment, our officers all have been given an N95 mask, goggles and gloves, and some hand sanitizer and that's personal when they're out driving, but each of the cars also have full gowns if they need to go into a place. We're trying not to go in as much as possible. The ambulance force have been incredible with that. They understand. They have all the equipment, so it's saving us some resources there. When we do go in, there has been some deaths that we do have to go in, and we do have to investigate all deaths. So we have had people go in, at least we have the equipment when we go in. And the sergeant's vehicles all have like hydrants and stuff, and they have 5 cents of everything in case we do get into like some type of casualty scene or something like that we would be able to equip them. So right now we're doing good, with the help of Carmel and Allison and, our people in Arizona and Conley have been exceptional with making sure we have the equipment we need for our officers. We have everything we go by with that. We're going by either the DO or the Rockland County Health Department. Whatever they tell us that they need for our officers or our staff, we're doing that immediately coming out of your office, obviously. But we do try and get it out. I did actually meet with Nick Whalen today to see how things are going, and things seem to be working out well. A lot of questions obviously they have with things because it's unknown, but again, our staffing it's down because we had shortages from the 7 retirements in the beginning of the year, and we're kind of in a holding pattern with 3 people that we're looking to hire. So we're looking to get that taken care of. Again, we're still on the trajectory, like you said earlier, with the deaths, unfortunately, but it appears that some of the hospital admittance has been leveling off or maybe not going down, but coming in at lower numbers. So it's still rising, but not rising at the same rate. So that may be a positive. And again, we're still trying to work out some of the things that come up with what our legal authority, what it is, and like I said, I think it's done. I talked, me and Rob were talking today. You probably, when you were in law school, you could get half the class one side of the story and then half the other side of it. Could have probably all come up with different answers. But so I think some of it will have to end up working its way to the courts, but hopefully not too much.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
How are you doing with getting information from the county health department about the residences that have coronavirus, for your officers going to those particular residences, that they know what they're walking into?
That has gotten better. It's not at 100%, but I know they have limitations as well. But I know the sheriff and the DA, and they do. It's not, the state numbers are a lot higher than the numbers.
My
Gotta
perspective,
stop
the
screaming.
county Department of Health is not doing the job, and the county executive ought to be pushing her to do a better job, because there are better statistics coming out of Westchester than are coming out of Rockland County. You're not getting accurate information. It's not available enough. And that really, to me, is what county health department should be doing, taking a leadership role. They're not. That's my opinion. One other thing, well, I'm all right where I was in the ranch. The other thing I still think is needed here in the south end of the county is testing. There's more testing that's available. You have people that may or may not know they have coronavirus, and testing should be available. I don't want to get into who, but I know somebody they were trying to get testing for a whole family because the husband was a New York City policeman who had coronavirus and had 5 kids, and they wanted to make sure the kids didn't have it, and the mother was a nurse, wanted to go back to work. And they were told that they could get free testing in Ramapo. Now, I wouldn't go to Ramapo for testing. I don't think that's a great idea. My own personal opinion. I think Orangetown, Clarkstown should have the same testing that's available to Ramapo should be available here. We're like the poor stepchild here.
Well, that's how it always is, Dennis. But if you want to get tested, you can go up to Swanican Boulevard in New City and get in and get out in 10 minutes.
No,
I got tested up there.
you can go to Squadron Boulevard, pay $125. Again, you have the symptoms, that's a good idea. It's worth the $125 to go. But why is it in Ramapo, it's free, and it's not free here?
But I think that's a good Sam, and I think you still have to have a doctor or somebody call you in.
So at Squadron Boulevard, you'll get the results in 48 hours. I got
Right.
my results 48 hours later, and I was positive, even though I had really no symptoms.
Okay,
I
anybody
mean,
else?
it's worth 125.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the women.
Does anybody, Jerry, anybody else want to say anything before we go into like the announcements and stuff?
No, thanks, Don, for the numbers, and that's great. Glad to see everything. Stay safe.
Thank you, Don. And Dennis, Ramapo always gets what
Teresa.
Ramapo wants.
Keep on-
Teresa,
It's not.
What's that?
Okay. I can't, it's, oh, I see, there's telephones, okay. Okay. I muted, I don't know how. Okay. Okay, so, you want to say anything? You want to make any?
No.
Okay. Okay, then we'll go into the announcements. We do have a couple of announcements. I just want to remind everybody that the 2020 census is happening now. So everyone should be responding. There's a website, my2020census.gov. It's simple. I did it. Only takes a couple minutes, so you got to be counted.
It is very simple.
Very simple. The paper shredding event that was scheduled for May 2nd is now canceled. They have another one scheduled for October 19th, and at this point, that will be the next one. The 2020 Military Tribute Banner Program is still going on for anybody who still wants to get in. They hang up the flags from between Memorial Day and Veterans Day. It's $150, and you get to keep the flag, or it's a $50 annual renewal fee. So if you want to keep the flag up for the following year. The discussion on the merger of the responsibilities between ACABOR and the Historic Areas Board of Review is postponed at this point till June 16th. So we can, it's kind of hard to have the discussion in this format, so we'll put it off. Okay, so I guess we did have a couple public comments. I guess I can briefly read. Dear Ms. Kenny, this is from Nora McQueenie. Is it prudent to allow leaf blowing in Orangetown due to the airborne properties of COVID-19? Also the effects on the respiratory system. Could this be addressed at your next town boarding meeting? Just to let you know, this is the only one that actually asked us to address it, but we have received some other comments. Chief? Right. So I did speak with Rob Magrino about this. Basically, we would have to either get the state health department to agree, or we'd have to pass a local law. We'd have to have a public hearing and like that. So it's not, because it's inconsistent with what the governor's doing. So, again, this is the one person that commented tonight, but I did get a couple emails and people asking. So
There is, Teresa, there is a town in Westchester that's passed a law concerning that.
yeah. I mean, again, I don't know what happened to Rob. Oh, there he is.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
we
would-
just talked briefly about it, but
Right. Some of those towns in Westchester, I know one already had a local law. I don't know if anybody did anything with respect to the current situation, but my feeling is it would either have to be a local law or an executive order that we'd have to run by the Department of
Right.
Health first. So.
they might have did. They might have got the state to approve it, but that would basically be the procedure. Okay, and then the next comment was from a Sean Walsh. At the time I write this, my understanding is the county executive has closed all Rockland County parks. That is correct. The town of Orangetown has closed its park effective, and we will be closing effective 4/8 tonight. Yet the golf courses will remain open. Is that correct? As I disclosed, that's not going to be correct. And so the rest of it appears to be If closure requires a vote, then it'd be helpful if this were put to a vote so the citizens can understand each of your opinions on it. So I think we kind of addressed that one. And then I guess we will go into the workshop. So the first item is basically authorizing what we're doing here tonight, not having public participation or public in the audience. Basically, it's, pursuant to the governor's executive order. So this is just, getting resolution about it. Number 2 is the town parks being closed. Again, we worked with Eric on this to basically identify, Eric is going to be posting signs, which will say that anyone caught trespassing is subject to a fine of $1,000. We're hoping that will be the incentive to keep them from climbing under gates and things. Apparently that's what they've been doing, but anyway.
Is Don still there?
Yes.
Chief, what are you going to do about enforcement? Because we can close them, but you got a lot of young kids home who have nothing better to do but go to the parks and play soccer or basketball.
Their
So
parents gave it $1,000. You'll see how quick they'll rethink that.
He's asking what you're gonna do about the parks.
We're gonna go in and we'd ask them, we explain the order, then ask them to leave. It's really the hope, and that has happened a couple times so far when we were trying to figure out the laws, and people have been responsive.
Right.
So that's the
Well,
hope.
that's why we're closing them. So officially it will be trespassing, and
If-
yeah, I'm hoping $1,000
Teresa?
will scare anybody away. Yes.
Yeah, no, the chief and I have been talking. There's 2 ways if people are trespassing. Obviously, we want compliance, and that's the first thing. And the chief has, indicated that we like to say, look, the park is closed, you have to leave. There's 2 provisions. One is a town code violation, which takes up to $1,000 fine, or a trespassing violation. But again, I don't think the goal is to necessarily charge people.
So is the
It's
town
to have
code,
that.
is the town code a trespassing, or you can do it under the
Yes.
criminal?
Yeah, there's a violation of town code section 7A that would be applicable once, the board passes the resolution and it's properly posted, and or, a regular trespass under the penal law. But again, I think the feeling is, hopefully once people are advised that they will not, be there.
All right, cool.
Okay.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Does this include the walking trails? Because that's what I've been doing.
So it doesn't yet. The timing's not great, but I am meeting tomorrow. I'm having a call tomorrow with the mayors of all the villages. And so, I guess part of it, talk to Eric, does connect up through Piermont into South Nyack. But it's weird because the Piermont section, we control. So I wanted to speak with the mayor of Piermont. If he's in favor of it, that's one discussion. If he's not, again, technically we control it, but. So I'm talking with them tomorrow. I figured I also think it'd be very hard to.
The Piermont section is unpaved.
No, there's 2 parts of Piermont. Piermont owns the part that's there's a lower trail and a top trail. The top trail we own.
The top trail, yeah.
We own the top trail, but it goes basically, it's like,
Yeah, from Spark Hill.
right, past like when you go through the little train station
Yeah.
south. So then we control that, and then it goes into Spark Hill, which we completely control. I've gotten emails both ways, people begging us not to close it, and somebody calling today saying that there was 300 people outside his house. I'm like, 300 people is a lot. I think that's, I was gonna tell him to take a
I
picture.
walk down every day.
Yeah.
With all the parks closed, people are doing a lot of walking. You have to do something.
I know.
And
Well, that's,
walking and keeping a social distance. Important part of getting through it. So I wouldn't close.
okay. So it's not on this list, so for now, it's not closed. If we find that there's 300 people on it, we can always revisit it.
They get a picture.
Yeah, I was gonna tell him 300 people.
That's another story.
Okay, number 3 is approving the surplus of 2 trucks. Some of these items we're approving, and I guess maybe we're being optimistic. We'll have to see how it goes, but the next one is the Noble Ninth, the use of the picnic grounds for the summer camp. It's an agreement that we renew every year. Again, the next one is a grant. I don't know if you want the chief to speak about it. You're good? Okay. Okay. Another one again is, looking for assistance for the Greek church, for the Greek festival, which is for June 4th to the 7th. And
Is that
then we
subject
have-
to, is that subject to like possible revocation?
Oh, absolutely. Well,
we have-
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that if it's gonna be canceled, you know, it is what it is, right?
I guess when we
Revisit if they
issue
don't
these
cancel.
permits, when we issue the permits, we say we can cancel it on notice, you know?
I mean, I guess
Just
we
let
can
them
also
know.
pull it off. We can pull it off to a later date if anybody, we think.
'Cause
Pull it off.
Well, what are we approving? We're approving that they can use.
Assistance, lend assistance
So-
for cones and barricades and
I'm
stuff.
saying it's true about the noble life of the Masonic,
Right.
and also.
I'm sorry?
No, but it's in June, so they may not even lift the order. When you know, you can't have mass meetings.
Get on, is what you're
Yeah,
saying?
but that would be something from the state. That would be something from the state,
Okay.
and it's on private property.
Subject to, right, subject to whatever, right,
Rules and laws are at that time.
okay. And then we have the audit, okay. Is Jeff on? Did Jeff call in? He was supposed to, but I might have freaking muted him and he came to talk. I didn't know it was him, I don't know which caller he is. Any caller I didn't know, I just muted, so. Jeff's probably like, I'm here. And we don't need it right away, but because we have to go through the items. And we can, yeah, I mean, Allison's gonna text him. So we can get through the other, yeah, we get to go through the other items. So for sake of these, I'm just going to assign who's moving it and who's seconding it. I'm not waiting for you guys to respond, okay? They did that at they did it at the meeting I was on the other night. They were like, okay, who, Teresa County, you didn't have a choice. Okay, so the first resolution, which is basically authorizing the town board meeting scheduled for tonight and April 21st to be attended by board members via video conference and teleconference for the public portion is suspended. I have a motion by Tom Divney and I have a second by Paul Valentine. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone
Aye.
against?
Aye.
Okay, good. You got that, Rosanna? It was good, you got it?
Teresa, it's Esther Baylor, the wind beneath your wing.
Esther Batley, you're not supposed to be talking. How do you keep breaking through? I'm telling you, we should come work, have her work in our, we should have her work in our IT department. Okay, next resolution. Basically, during the COVID-19 crisis, there's guidance remaining, parks remaining open, but we've witnessed individuals not adhering to social distancing and creating a potential threat to the health and safety. So we are hereby ordering the listed, yeah, do you want to just add the golf course here? You want to put it on as another?
I would add,
Yeah, it is an amendment.
Okay, so then I need a,
I make a motion to amend.
Paul
the
Valentine,
resolution to
okay.
include the golf
I'll say.
And, okay, you got that?
Unless,
Okay.
unless Tom Divney wants to second it, because it's a hot item.
Well, finally, you guys have some reason.
Mute, I'm gonna mute you. Okay, okay, so, we have the amended, now we have to vote on the resolution, right?
You
So
don't need a
add-
separate motion. Just
You
add
know?
those two, just add those
And then
two
we
to
vote?
that resolution and vote.
Vote on the amendment.
Okay, so we're adding golf courses.
Vote on the amendment. Adding the golf course.
Okay,
And then you
that's
vote.
what I was saying. And Rob started telling me I didn't need to. Okay, so, so we have okay, so can we get all in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
And now I vote on the, he's telling me I don't have to. He's telling me. I
Go
do.
ahead. Go ahead.
On the,
It's a new guy.
okay. Okay, so now we're gonna, I'm gonna have a motion to move it is Tom Divney, seconded by Paul Valentine, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a resolution to surplus truck 67 and 70 in the highway department. I have a motion by Paul Valentine and a second by Dennis Choi. All in favor?
Aye.
Any against?
Aye.
Okay, I have a motion for the paperwork for the Noble Ninth, the campgrounds. I have a motion by Paul Valentine, and I have a second by Jerry Batari. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have number 6, a motion to accept a grant from the Department of Criminal Justice Services from the state of New York for the purchase of 2 complete live scan systems in the amount of $17,100 as a grant. I have a motion by Valentine, I have a second by Dennis Choi. All in favor?
Aye.
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 We could get through the meetings much quicker if I do this all the time. I have a motion for, to provide aid to the Greek festivals currently scheduled for June 4th to the 7th. Can I have a motion by Jerry Batari and a second by Dennis Troy? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Are you good, Roseanne? I'm not going too quick?
No.
Okay, so what are we doing about the audit?
About the what?
Audit?
Well, we have the information for the audit.
Did he forget?
It was sent.
No, it was sent to us. Okay.
Yeah.
didn't-
All right. I reviewed the audit and I make a motion to approve it.
Okay, so we have 2. We have to do, number 7 is the vouchers for March 24th. So we have Tom Divany made a motion and Jerry Batari made a second.
Yep.
So we have a motion to accept the audit. Do I have to do them together? I don't know. Mr. Town.
Just do 7, do 1 for 7 and 1 for 8. You had Divany and
Yep.
Batari, then all, then do 1 for 8.
Okay,
All right.
so all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion on the next audit to approve it.
I do
Okay.
have another comment. I'll talk about the county. In the audit, there's $340,000 for the county, Rockland County Community College, which the college gets that money from the other colleges in New York State that have students that go to Rockland Community College. They get reimbursed at Rockland Community College. We got shafted by the county going back 3 years ago, 4 years ago, where
More.
they, to balance their own budget, dumped on us $340,000 payment. It's absolutely absurd. It's not the way to do business. And it's not just us, it's each of the towns, Ramapo, Orangetown, Clarkstown, have to pay a percentage based on the number of students that they have at Rockland Community College. But it's absurd because it was never done for, at least I can go back to 20 years before this. Because the college was being made whole. And it's wrong. I'm voting for it, but it's wrong.
It is wrong. But they got to pay those big IT salaries up the county.
Okay, so we had Tom Divany moved it and you, did you?
Second.
That was a second, I wasn't sure. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Okay, executive session. Executive session, is there any need for an executive session? No?
I think we do.
No, I don't have any.
No.
Okay.
Wait, we're not done, we have to do our adjournments.
We would like to add one thing.
Okay.
You know, during these tough times, I think Teresa, our staff, I know you already thanked your staff, and the department heads are doing a great job keeping Orangetown going, and that's including the employees, all right, in the town. It's a thing, I've always said this, that Orangetown is an oasis, and it's an oasis from the top down. Teresa, keep up the great work. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for those nice words. Okay, so I'll just read through the names, and if anybody wants to say anything about anybody, by all means, let me know. We have Diane Failing from Pearl River, Richard Nelson from Orangeburg, James Harding from Pearl River, Bernadette Kinsella from Pearl River, Pauline Capriglio from Pearl River, I hope I said that right, Donald Higgins from Tapan, Philip Sheridan from Pearl River, Dr. James Goodrich from Grandview on Hudson, Rose White from Pearl River, Daniel O'Keefe from Pearl River, Dr. Anton Stenzler from Chestnut Ridge, he was the vet that had them in Pearl River, and Lawrence Kane from Montvale, New Jersey. Does anybody want to say anything? Yeah, it's
A lot of good people.
terrible.
Those people, I know 5 of them very well. And I think one of the things that has been very difficult for me and for their families is what happens is you can't have funerals, right? You don't have the wakes that you've had in the past. You don't have the socialization, talking to the families about the person, whatever. It's just like, to me, it's like the great abyss. The people are dying through coronavirus or whatever else they died, during this period. It's very, very difficult. And hopefully when all this is over, we'll remember the people that suffered through this. Thank you.
Dennis, you're right. There's no closure.
The whole
There's
grieving
no
is missed. So it's a really hard time for these families, as well as the community, who, a lot of these people meant a lot for the community. So it's a very difficult time. So my prayers go out to each and every family that has someone that's passed and someone that's suffered.
I'm sorry, one more. Dr. Goodrich, who I did not know, but Dr. Goodrich did help one of my grandsons. Dr. Goodrich is famous doctor for doing the surgeries on the conjoined twins. And he lives here in Orangetown. It's a real loss to the medical profession and a loss to Orangetown. So somebody I didn't know, but I knew of him.
Yeah. Anybody else? Jerry or Tom, you want to say anything?
No, I think everything has been said. It's a tough time, and we'll get through it.
Okay.
A lot of good people. A lot of good people died.
Yeah. Right, okay. So can I get a motion to close from Paul Valentine and that's second by Dennis Troy? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Teresa, you
everybody.
just beat Chris Day's record.
Social distance.
Okay, stay safe, everyone. I gotta figure out how to turn you off.
Okay, before you do, Teresa, we're off? Okay. You there, Mike?